Hey everybody, welcome back to Let's Play Fez. I'm Nye. Today we're going to be skipping around the world a little bit as we learn exactly how to write and read. Step 1 is actually learning how to count. Very important thing in this world. Very important thing at all. So, we're starting here. And the reason why is this is the room that teaches you how to read tetranometer puzzles. Now, we already know how to do that, right? This is teaching you how to read. So tetranometer puzzles start here with the code. So for example, code behind me. So step 1, you have the code. You split it apart into its individual tetranometers, and then you rotate it 90 degrees counterclockwise. What that means is that's step 1, 2, and 3. And if you look at those blocks there that don't belong to anything else, oh, that's not what I'm looking for. That's not what I'm looking for. That's what I'm looking for. If you look at those blocks there, that fits the counting artifact. So we have the counting artifact here. So that matches something that's up there. So does that. Now, this is only part of the puzzle, though. There's another part of the puzzle that we have to go do in order to learn how to count. And thankfully, I've already seen it. Just a matter of figuring out how I get there. Let's go looking for it. Alrighty, welcome back. Now we're in another classroom. Now, this classroom is in the ancient city. This is where things get a little bit weird. Okay, so this classroom tells you a lot of things, and the place we need to start is here. So, it's going to teach us what our numbers are, right? Well, if you look at it real quick, you'll see that these are actually numbers. They're responding to dimensions. Well, a dot has, technically one dimension, but I don't know. For some reason, they decided that's going to not be 1. That's 0. That's 1. Line is 2-dimensional. Don't ask me why, but that is 1. 2 dimensions. 3 dimensions. That's supposed to be a cube, I think. Next, we have this. What was I going to say? This is giving us a math problem, and that's actually combined with this over here. So, this is actually math, as stupid as this sounds. What this is telling us right here is it's an equal sign, right? Well, what this is telling us is that numbers don't exactly work the way the game expects. There's multiple ways to get the numbers. So, the idea... There's the button I'm looking for. There's the button I'm looking for. We need this thing again. The idea, we know that this right here is 1. And that right there is 0. And that right there is something else entirely. So from what I've been able to tell, the idea is that you kind of, how to put this? You take the stamp. Let's assume this is a stamp. You take the stamp and you put it on ink, and then you stamp it, right? So you would get a U shape right now. So I want you to picture that U shape in your mind. Now, we know that 2, so that's 1, up facing you, like that. We know that the 2, this one, is the same thing rotated to the right 90 degrees. So the idea is you take that U shape and you overlay it. Now keep in mind, we're talking about the white shape in the middle. This one on top, where Gomez is. Okay, so we overlay that with the second one, the white shape. Now, where the white overlaps we keep it. So if you look at these two, the white's going to overlap on the leftmost L of this U up here, right? Because that's where both white shapes have. So to think of it like a 9 square grid, you know, upper left, upper right, so on. So upper left, that works. Left overlaps. Down left overlaps. Bottom overlaps. Right overlaps. But straight middle does not overlap. If nothing overlaps, nothing shows up. Top overlaps, but only with one item. Only with one part. So top doesn't show up. Right only overlaps one item, so right doesn't show up. But upper right overlaps on both, so upper right shows up too. And that gives us 3. Now, this is where things get a little bit more interesting. So let's add, 1 plus 3. So 1 plus 3 equals 4. So 1 is going to be that U shape, and 3 is going to be that shape. So upper right overlaps. Actually, no, I don't think that's right. Because it should be upper right overlaps. So we have that. Right does not overlap, and down overlaps. That just gives us 3 anyways. Because it's my guess that I have lost my train of thought. See, I'd gotten that far, but 4 doesn't fit. The idea is that we know this is 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay? It makes sense, even though the drawings don't necessarily do so. This one's another math problem. So, it's 1, 2, and then whatever that is. The one on the bottom. Now, I want to say that's 3. But it's not, because we know that facing matters. So the question is, how does facing matter? What is that number there? Basically, what does it equal? What is that? Now, this is showing us the counting cube. So, I can't press the wrong button. This is showing us this. So if you look at the way it works. Now, what I understand, so I know that's 1. I know that's 1. But I also know that that's 3. But it's not 3 in the right direction. So what I don't really understand is how we get further from here. But yeah, that's definitely that's the counting cubes. The question is, what do the other what do the other symbols represent? The problem is we need to know this. We need to be able to count, because some of the other puzzles in the game rely on that. Because we know 0, 1, 2, 3. So now, see, this is interesting. This is another puzzle there's another part of the puzzle. But this one's a little bit easier. It's an equal sign. We know what equal sign means. Equals means equals. It means one isn't identical to the other. So on the left-hand side, we know that that's the symbol for 3. And then that upside down U is equal to 3. Well, if 3 is equal to 3, that means the upside down U is also equal to 3, which means upside down U is 3. Okay, that makes sense. And the right-hand side is just the normal axiom. A equals A. 3 equals 3. So we know that that is also 3. Okay. So let's assume that I'm not a complete idiot. And let's assume this still matters. But maybe what I'm seeing here is that maybe you don't use the combined symbols. Maybe you can't use the combined symbols like that. Maybe the combined symbols have to be left out, and you're using the normal rotation symbols. Okay. So, well, then that's weird, though. Because then you'd have... So you have upper U is 1, right U is 2, and down U is 3. The game has given us those. Well, if we follow the pattern, left U has to be 4. Okay, that makes sense, right? So if left U is 4... So that means, so up U is 1, right U is 2. So what adds together to get down, to get that third symbol? So that's 1 plus 3 is 4? No. Because it's not 1 plus 3. Do we have a... See, the middle one here, that second symbol would be 3. So if you put the top U and the bottom U, then the middle position is empty, so that leaves an empty position. And top and bottom would also be empty because it's not overlapping. So that means that a 4... So that... I keep on pressing that button. I keep on pressing start when I should be pressing Y. So that means that that's 4. Right? And that has to be 4. It's the way the things line up. So we know that that is also 4. Okay. So what adds together to make this symbol here? Well, it's not up. Or it's not 1, because 1 does not have a top crossbar. In fact, the only symbols that have the top crossbar are 2, 3, and 4. Well, it's not going to be 2, because 2 does not have a right crossbar. It's not going to be 3, because 3 doesn't have a bottom crossbar. So that's 4 plus... And 4 is left facing. So 4 is the second symbol all the way over here on the right. So... And I apologize about going so slow on this. I'm trying to visualize this without trying to draw it. And that's just giving me trouble. So we need something that has up all the way across, right all the way across, top all the way across, right all the way down. Which, that looks like that should be 3. So 4 and 3 would make this symbol, which would be 7. Okay. So it looks what I'm seeing is that should be 1, 2, 7 equals whatever this is. I just don't know if it's times plus whatever it is. Okay, let's look at the second one then. So that's 2, 3, and then the next one. So what do we need? We need something. We need 2 that are something that has a right pillar, something that has a down pillar. So that could be 2 or that has to be 4. Okay. So that's 4 plus something that has... So that looks like that's 4 plus 1 is 5. So that's 2, 3, 5. Well, 1, 2, 7, and 2, 3, 5 both equal 10 if you add them up. And this is 1 and 4 and 5. So I'm guessing that this one here with the 4 dots must equal 10. Which is pretty easy. Okay. So we have that. So now we know what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 10 look like. Okay. Easy stuff. So this is the cube. I'm not going to pull out the cube again just because this is easier to look at. So that's one. So look at the bottom row. So it's 1 on the left-hand side. Then that's 4. So then we got the next one. Now if we follow the same rules, so this face right here, this third thing right here, just directly to the right of Gomez's head. So that could be a 1, a 2, or a 3. What is that? That doesn't look like that works. That doesn't look like this middle one here. This one doesn't look like it follows any of the other rules. Because you could combine, if you combined 1, 2, 3, or 4, you could not get this symbol. Because you never have that last empty bit, right? If you combine 1 and 3, you get 4, which is the 2 vertical pillars right here. And what that means, that's U up, U down. And if you do U left and U right, that's 2 and 4, you get 6, which would be the same bars, just horizontal. We already know what you get when you combine 1 and 2. You get 3, which is that L shape with the dot. And those are the right angle ones. So, and we know that 3 and 4 is also bar with dot. That's 7. 2 and 3 is also bar and dot. That's 5. And then same with 1 and 4, so on and so forth. We know what all of those look like. So this isn't... So that doesn't work. So I think that next one, we know from this that we can combine 3 numbers, or 3 symbols at once. So that must be 3 symbols at once, using the same rules that we already had. So we are looking for... See, I was going to say that we're looking for things that, you know... I think the rule is that it's not just empty solid equals empty. It's all solid must equal solid. And if anything's not there, it must equal empty. Which is why, you know, 0 would be the only thing that's all solid, because nothing else will have that. So that third one would be 2, because 2 has an empty space to the right, 1 has an empty space up, 3 has an empty space down. So that one, so that with the dots pointed to the right, that's going to be 6. It has to be. The next one is going to be 4, which is empty space to the left, and that next one is 5, last one's 10, last one is empty. So this is a major pain in the ass, but if we can actually just go look through this, we can figure out what the numbers have to be. Now, we can pretty easily figure out what this is then. The question is, what does this to the left of us mean? Because that's 2, 4, let's see, empty down is 3, empty right is 2. So it's a 2, 4, 2, 5, 3. No idea what that means. We have to figure out that's 6, that's 4, that's 1, that's 5, that's 4. That is 4, 4. Let's see, that's going to be up and right. So 3, 3. 3, 4. And down and right is 5. No idea what that means. That's weird. But I mean, the number system makes sense. We just have to look into it. It's annoying that some numbers seem to have multiple things, though. We know that 4 has at least 2. But we know how the numbering system works. Next time when I see you guys, at least the lettering system's easier, and I already figured that one out. I'm going to show you what we do with that. See you soon.